Take a good look at the man dressed as Deadpool. He's walking through a parking lot at a university, and it looks like he's blending in among the students. But something's not right. This man was following a student named Lauren, who was 21 years old. On October 22, 2018, Lauren disappeared without leaving any trace. This is very sad. 9 days earlier, on October 13th, Lauren went to the university police. She was scared and told her that she was receiving threatening text messages from numbers she didn't know. She tried to call for help several times, calling the police 14 times over the next week, but no one believed her. Imagine how terrified that must have made Lauren. On October 9th, 10 days before she disappeared, university cameras showed Lauren meeting with her boyfriend, who was named Shawn Fields. His friend told him that Lauren was thinking about breaking up with him that day, but she had a secret. Shawn Fields wasn't his real name. What happened to Lauren became a mystery, but she left some important clues. Lauren believed that someone would find out the truth about what happened to her and that Deadpool's man would be revealed. He was not a good person. He was a very good manipulator at getting what he wanted, and you couldn't believe anything he said. If you were shocked by this story and want to know more about the mysteries and details surrounding Lauren's disappearance, subscribe to our channel. Don't miss any updates. Activate the bell to be notified whenever a new video comes out. Once upon a time, in 2013, in a charming town called Pullman, Washington, there was a girl full of dreams and energy named Lauren. She lived with her two loving mothers, Matthew and Jill, who always supported her in everything. From a young age, Lauren lit up any place she went. She was that friend who was always by your side, ready to offer a smile or help in any situation, no matter the day or time. Lauren's childhood wasn't just a happy one, it was full of adventures. Since learning to walk, she has excelled in sports. At just 2 years old, Lauren was already climbing trees as if she were a small monkey, challenging anyone to accompany her. Her parents watched her proudly as she showed impressive determination. Confident in their daughter's talent, Matthew and Jill encouraged her to play sports and soon discovered that she had a special gift for athletics. At the age of 10, Lauren shone even brighter when she won second place at the U.S. Junior Olympics. What seemed like a distant dream came true, and her dedication led her to be recognized by a major university. When she finished high school, the University of Utah decided that it needed Lauren on its team, offering her a scholarship. Finally, we have reached September of 2015. The atmosphere was vibrant when Lauren and her parents arrived at the magnificent campus of the University of Utah, a pulsating place where more than 20,000 students were pursuing their own dreams. Although her parents were nervous about leaving her so far from home, Lauren was radiant, full of confidence, and ready to write a new chapter in her life. Quickly, she adapted to the new routine and made friends, such as Bruna, her new roommate. We were roommates in our first year and soon we became great friends, remembers Bruna, with a smile on her face. In the years since, Lauren has continued to shine in everything she did. With focus and determination, she excelled not only in her studies, but also in athletics competitions. Her eyes sparkled as she shared her passions, and her joy was contagious. Lauren was not only an exceptional athlete, she was also smart, funny, and loved to dance. Her life was filled with achievements and special moments, and she couldn't wait for the upcoming graduation. It was a vibrant night, September 1st, 2000, and Lauren was about to experience a moment that would change her life forever. After months of intense study, she had finally reached her senior year in college, and to celebrate her recent 21st birthday, she decided she deserved a night of fun. And who better to accompany her than her best friend, Bruna? Downtown Salt Lake City was pulsating with life. Vibrant music echoed through the streets, and the contagious energy of the students filled the air. Lauren and Bruna arrived at the London Bell, a bar famous for its live performances and lively dance floor. Even though they knew they needed to get up early to study the next day, they were determined to enjoy every moment of that night. As soon as they entered, something caught Lauren's attention. A tall, friendly security guard named Shawn Fields stopped them at the door. With a welcoming smile and muscularly defined arms, he immediately stood out among the crowd. Wow, he's huge, with giant muscles, Lauren thought, a glint of admiration in her eyes. During the night, Shawn made sure to pass by them a few times, always exchanging smiles and friendly words. The mood was light and fun, and the music made Lauren's heart dance. But when the clock struck midnight, the reality began to appear. It was time to return home. Reluctantly, the friends agreed that they needed a good night's sleep. As Lauren headed for the exit, something unexpected happened. She felt a gentle hand land on her shoulder. It was Shawn. His presence immediately brought butterflies in his stomach. They exchanged a few friendly words, and before she knew it, he surprised her with an invitation. "Would you like to go out with me someday?" Shawn asked, with a smile that made Lauren's heart race. With a twinkle in her eye, Lauren didn't hesitate. Excitedly, she gave him her phone number, and together they arranged to meet later. In that moment, amidst the music and magic of that night, Lauren knew that her life was about to enter a new and exciting phase. If you're as involved in Lauren's story as we are, don't forget to like the video. It's now September 2nd, and Lauren is super excited. Today is the day of your first meeting with Shawn. You know, until now, Lauren has never had a serious boyfriend, but everything about Shawn seems perfect. He is so attentive and friendly, and best of all, they study at the same university. Shawn is also a student and is majoring in computer science. He's a little older than Lauren, he's 28, but that doesn't make her nervous. In fact, she feels safe and happy next to him. Finally, it's time for the date and Lauren is overjoyed. They went to dinner together, and Shawn made it all seem special. He surprised her with beautiful flowers and looked her in the eye as they talked, showing how much he cared. At the end of the night, Shawn, with a fond smile, asked to be her boyfriend. When Lauren returned home, her face was lit up by a big smile. Shawn was exactly what she expected, a kind, dedicated guy, and also an independent man who had a part-time job. She couldn't believe how it was all happening. Lauren was radiant. She seemed so happy in her new relationship, as if she were living a fairy tale. But soon, her friends began to notice something strange. What seemed perfect wasn't always so cool. He told me to wear a t-shirt and jeans, so that's why I'm dressed like that, Lauren commented. But something didn't sound right. Her friends were concerned to realize that Lauren, who had always been so independent and confident, was now hesitating in her choices. The affection Shawn showed seemed to be changing. His messages and calls became so frequent that it seemed as if he was watching her. Lauren always answered the phone, almost as if she was afraid of what might happen if she didn't. "Why do you always answer when he calls?" asked her friends, worried about her. Lauren replied, "Well, he wants me to answer quickly so he knows where I am, what I'm doing, and if I'm okay." Lauren's friends began to wonder if this love was really healthy and if she was as happy as she looked. What once seemed like a fairy tale now had some shadows, and they knew they needed to help their friend. After a few weeks together, Shawn was practically living with Lauren. He spent all his time in her dorm, becoming friends with all the students around. Thus, he was able to move around the building without needing an entrance card. But with that, Lauren began to feel differently. She was quieter and always looked tired. Her friends soon realized that she was no longer being the same person as before. We realized that she was exhausted and stressed. You could see from her face that things weren't cool in the relationship. "This guy is not good for her," her friends commented. Then, on October 1st, a month after Lauren met Shawn, something strange happened. Shawn told Lauren that he wanted to give her a gift. "It's for your protection," he said with a smile. And what was the gift? A loaded military pistol. Lauren's friends were horrified and thought, "That's not right. She doesn't need it. Her security is great. If there's anyone who really puts her in danger, it's him." When Lauren's friends heard that her boyfriend wanted to give her a gun, they were very worried. They decided they needed to tell someone who could help. So they went to talk to Diamond, who is the resident assistant and works at the university. "She hasn't been hanging out with us much, and now he wants to give her a gun," they said, their eyes full of concern. Diamond heard everything and realized that the situation was more serious than it seemed. This is not just any gossip, she thought. Then, quickly, Diamond called her supervisor and asked, "What should I do? Do I need to call the police?" But to Diamond's surprise, she was not instructed to call the police. Instead, her supervisor asked her to email the university security team and explain everything that was going on. Lauren's story is far from over, and we want to hear what you think. Leave a comment below sharing your theories about what may have happened next. Then, on October 2nd, the day after the strange gift, the university security team received a troubling email about Shawn Fields. People were very worried about Lauren. They thought she might be in a dangerous relationship. In addition, Shawn, who did not live on campus, was appearing there frequently. There were even suspicions that he might be trying to get Lauren a gun and that he was monitoring where she went. But the days passed, and Diamond, the resident assistant's inbox, was still empty. No one seemed to pay attention to the email. Then, on October 9th, something scary happened. Lauren found Shawn's ID card, but noticed that something was very wrong. The photo was of him, but the name and birthday were different. In fact, the name there was a 37-year-old man named Melvin Rowland. Intrigued and worried, Lauren decided to investigate. She went online to find out who this Melvin was. Together with a friend, she found a photo of him and, to her horror, discovered that he was a sex offender. "Are you sure it's this person?" her friend asked, very worried. Lauren knew that, from what she was reading, this was something very serious. She needed to find out the truth about who her real boyfriend was. Lauren made a very troubling discovery. She realized that the name Shawn Fields didn't really exist. His real name was Melvin Rowland, and he had a very serious police record. He committed serious crimes, such as trying to entice children over the internet and try to do bad things. He was arrested several times because he did not follow the rules on probation. With the help of a quick internet search, Lauren discovered that Melvin was still on probation. Scared, she and her friend began to think of a plan so that Lauren could break up with him. It was a late night on October 9th, and Lauren knew Melvin was on his way to her dorm. Now that she knew his past, she was determined to end this relationship as soon as possible. It was late at night when Melvin entered Lauren's dorm. She knew she needed to be brave, and with her heart racing, she decided to confront him. Lauren told him everything she had discovered about her past. But suddenly, Melvin changed completely. He became very angry and aggressive, denying everything Lauren said. Even so, Lauren knew he was lying and remained firm, saying that their relationship was over. After hours of difficult conversation, Melvin finally decided to leave. The next day, October 10th, Lauren felt relieved, thinking that she had broken up with him and that he was out of her life forever. But she was very wrong. Soon, his phone started vibrating with a lot of text messages from unknown numbers. These were people who claimed to be friends of Melvin, and Lauren was worried. The messages Lauren received became more and more frightening. She didn't know what to do. So, he decided to respond, asking them to stop sending messages and block the numbers. But, even so, new numbers continued to appear, and to bother. Then, Lauren tried again and said that if they continued, she would call the police. But unfortunately, the messages only got worse. Although the numbers were unknown, Lauren noticed that the messages had many spelling errors, much like the messages Melvin used to send. One message, which made Lauren very worried, said that Melvin had died in a car accident and insisted that Lauren attend his funeral. On October 12, at 16 hours and 23 minutes, 3 days after ending their relationship, Lauren decided she needed help and called the campus police because she was scared. But to his frustration, no one returned his call. Days passed and the police gave no news, while the strange messages continued to appear. At that time, her friend said, "You need to go there in person." On Saturday, October 13th, Lauren and her friends went to the police department. They came in feeling like they weren't being taken seriously. One of Lauren's friends spoke loudly. "He's a sex offender. He has already been arrested." Lauren remembered how she had to Google everything and show her phone to the authorities. And then they heard the police say, "Oh, this must be just a scam. It's probably just a joke." Lauren was very worried and decided to show the police that one of the numbers she was texting her was the same one Melvin used when they were together. But when she told him that, they said the detective wasn't there and that she wouldn't hear from her until the following Tuesday. The case was referred to Detective Kayla Daloff, but she was on vacation. Lauren gave all the important details, including Melvin's criminal past, but no one on campus police bothered to investigate. They even forgot to check if Melvin was serving probation, which could have made it more serious. Not getting the help she needed, Lauren decided to call the Salt Lake City police, who were a higher authority, hoping they could help. But to their frustration, the Salt Lake City police redirected the call back to the campus police, who, after more than a week, still hadn't done anything about it. However, Lauren wasn't going to give up. Over the next few days, she worked hard and called the police more than 20 times, complaining about Melvin's disturbing past. Even so, the messages kept coming, and she was still being harassed. But Lauren was determined to protect herself. It was October 19th, and Melvin had bought a costume of Deadpool, the superhero who appears in movies. The movie Deadpool 2 with Ryan Reynolds had come out just a few months earlier, and Melvin was excited to wear this outfit for Halloween, which was just around the corner. But it wasn't until 10 days after Lauren broke up with him that Melvin began to behave very strangely. He was seen peeking around campus, trying to hide, while searching for Lauren. At 16 hours and 2 minutes, Lauren was quietly on the corner, unaware that her ex-boyfriend was right there, watching her. And what's even scarier is that he was holding a small black bag. Later, the police would discover that inside this bag there was a very dangerous weapon, a Beretta caliber .40, fully loaded. This made everyone very worried. 3 days later, on October 22nd, Melvin was caught again by several security cameras, peering around campus and looking for Lauren, while holding the same black bag. At 20 o'clock that day, Lauren finished her last class and began to go back to the dorm alone, as she always did. As she walked, she decided to call her mother. Back in Washington State, Lauren's family used to talk almost every day to see how each one was doing. She was in a good mood and said she was going home to finish a task. Matthew and Jill, her parents who were hundreds of miles away, spoke to Lauren on speakerphone, laughing and talking. But suddenly, something strange happened. They heard strange noises on the phone and, soon after, the sound of someone screaming. I think she must have fallen or something, because I heard the phone hitting the floor. We was screaming, "Lauren, Lauren." I kept calling for her, but she didn't answer. I knew she was in danger. So, I took the landline and dialed 911. We were trying to figure out where she could be. Finally, after weeks in which Lauren had called the police, they decided to take the case seriously and began searching for the missing young woman in a hurry. But for a while, they found nothing. Lauren's parents were very concerned and kept calling the police. Now, everyone was on the hunt for Lauren. Then, something important happened. Police received a call from a student who had found something while walking around campus. This could be the first clue everyone has been waiting for. The police started looking for Lauren and found some of her things scattered on the floor, but she wasn't there yet. Many police cars and police dogs surrounded the area, creating a safe space for the search. Concerned students across campus began asking questions. "What's going on? What are they looking for?" they asked, full of concern. The campus staff decided to issue an alert for everyone to be aware of and began to release the information about Melvin Rowland, who was the main suspect. A great search has begun. Police showed Melvin's image on television, hoping that someone would be able to recognize him. Time was ticking and Lauren had not yet been found. Finally, the police decided to review the security cameras and saw a man who looked like Melvin leaving the campus. At 20:21 minutes, Melvin was seen walking out of the college parking lot. He walked to a nearby train station and managed to hitch a ride with a driver. A few hours passed and the police still had no idea where he was or what he was doing. Until later that night, a frightened woman called the police. She said she recognized the man they were looking for on television. The woman said she had gone out with Melvin that night. They met on a dating app and, therefore, she went to pick him up at the train station. Afterwards, they went to dinner and spent time at her house. Melvin even showered there before leaving after midnight. At 1 o'clock in the morning, a policeman saw Melvin walking near the 200 East and 500 South in downtown Salt Lake City. He spoke over the radio. "I'm chasing the suspect in the shooting. He's running away on foot now." Melvin was running down the sidewalk, running away from police who were trying to catch up with him. He managed to escape and entered by breaking down the doors of a church, locking himself inside. The neighborhood was all closed, and everyone was worried, not knowing what was going to happen next. Then, suddenly, shots began to echo. The police knew they needed to act fast. With guns drawn, they forced their way through the church's large wooden doors. When they entered, they found Melvin Rowland, who was no longer alive. One of the officers said, "We have the suspect inside the church. It looks like he was injured by a bullet." While the police were searching for Melvin, they were also trying to find Lauren. They found some of her things and searched her dormitory, but they didn't find her anywhere. Later that same night, police finally found the car Melvin was driving, a small silver four-door car. Authorities arrived quickly and looked carefully inside the church, where they found a body. A police officer acted quickly and asked for urgent medical help. On the evening of October 22, Lauren's parents received a call from the university's athletic coach, bringing very sad news that no parent would want to hear. "Is she okay?" asked the father, worried. The coach replied sadly, "I'm sorry. She is no longer here. She is gone." When they heard this, the father began to cry. It was like being hit by a baseball bat. Very painful. He recalled receiving a message from Mrs., who said that they had lost Lauren and that she had been shot. At that moment, he could only go out and look up at the starry sky, feeling a deep wish that Lauren hadn't suffered, that she hadn't felt pain. Lauren's parents and her friends were in shock. The whole school was sad and couldn't believe what had happened. Days after Lauren left, the school organized a vigil to remember her life. Everyone knew that she was a wonderful, kind, and caring person, and her absence would leave a great void. Matt and Jill, Lauren's parents, were very frustrated. They couldn't understand how the campus police didn't listen to their daughter's pleas for help, which had been made several times. The university faced a lot of criticism and decided to hold a press conference. During the press conference, the president of the university said that campus security could not have done anything to prevent the tragedy. That left many even more shocked, because no one could believe that this could not have been avoided. "I felt bad just thinking about it. These parents lost their daughter. She's gone, and they still have the courage to try to defend themselves," said one of his friends, very sad about the situation. Lauren tried many times to ask the police for help, but all she needed was a single call. His parents, very angry at the university's response and determined to make sure it never happens again, decided to sue the school. They believed that the university had failed to protect their daughter and wanted to make important changes to her memory. "I don't want to live in this world without Lauren, but if I'm here, I want to make it a better place, said Jill, Lauren's mother. Matthew and Jill created the Lauren Foundation, which has a mission to improve security at universities and protect students around the world. All the money they receive from the lawsuit will go to the foundation. This will help make the world better and make students across the country much safer. This tragedy inspired an incredible movement that touched communities across the country, said Matthew, full of hope. Look at some of the signs that the protesters put on the windows of the prosecutor's building. Justice for Lauren. Since Lauren left, many things have changed to improve safety everywhere. They made changes to the police, improved the dormitories, created new special teams, and trained the teachers better. In addition, they promised to build an indoor athletics track in honor of Lauren. She is remembered and honored every day. Women should be listened to and taken seriously when they ask for help. When someone tells you they're in trouble, it's very important that we respond quickly. Lauren's family created something very special called Lauren's Promise. This promise is a commitment that if someone is threatening you, I will listen to you and believe you. This idea is spreading to communities across the country to help raise awareness about this issue. It's not your fault that you're in this situation, and it's okay to talk about it. Let's talk and do something about it, said a teacher. She shared that many students have come up to her and said, "Thanks to Lauren's promise, I am alive." This shows how important this promise is to help people.